Well met lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And if my calculations serve me correctly, today is the 50th Walking Wednesday, which also means that it's been going on for almost a year. I mean, yeah, it does seem like, it does check out, because I did start this in May 2019, so there you go. It's almost been a year, and yeah, 50 weeks straight has this been going on for. I sometimes don't know why I put myself through it, but there you go. People seem to like these, so I am all the more willing to provide for, no, probably another 50 weeks. You never know. So, if I seem a bit under the weather, it's not because of anything serious, because I have actually just, you know, completely been at home for the past like, I don't know, 3 days or so. I can't remember when was the last time I went out for an actual walk, but there is good reason, because that was when I started actually knuckling down to get the submissions for university done. Because as it turns out, there were a few more things that I had forgotten were part of the assignment, like for example a written review for the script. For example, I don't know anything else right now. I'm not really, don't want to think too much about it, about what I did and didn't know was going on. But there was slightly more overwhelming than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I did actually, surprise, surprise, I actually ended up finally doing it and pulling an all-nighter. I did finally doing the all-nighter, not like finally doing the work. I had been working on that before. So yeah, eventually the sleeping hours became non-existent, at least for a period of about 24 hours, after which I was like, well, you know what, I am definitely having a nap, which was almost around actual bedtime, and then from that point onwards I've been kind of recovering from that, whilst also doing writing sessions, because I can't resist doing that. Because actually that's the thing, there's new writing sessions for a new series that Mimi's working on. Mimi's working on a lot of new series actually. Ever since she got Minecraft, she's been like crazily thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. Kind of reminds me of me in a way, actually, from the early days. And I was like, okay, what am I gonna do in Minecraft today? Okay, well let's do this, this, and this. Because actually, my brother told me at the time that I would start a new series like all the time. That's why so many projects are completely unfinished, because I would just be thinking, oh yeah, let's do this new thing, and then it's not come back to the other one. It's not like when I write books, in which case I will come back to them and I'll work on them in the background, like back and forth between them, and they actually get done. These series, for some reason, even though it's just me improvising for most of it, don't end up having the same treatment, unfortunately. But oh well. I'm at Grosvenor Road now, but I'm pretty sure there's another Grosvenor Road somewhere. It's not this one. I don't know. I think these people, oh no, they're waiting for one of them. They're not actually waiting for me to pass. That's good. They seem to have walked into a densely populated area. Yep, definitely walked into a densely populated area. I'm going to turn down here. I'm trying a slightly different road today, so actually the walk back will be a bit longer. You know, just extend the time a little bit to make up for the missed time that I've had, even though I'm still devoid of a lot of energy. I'm not doing as bad, like, emotionally as I was last week, because that was a disaster where I was at that point. I mean, to some extent I am still thinking, you know what, I just need to like stop working on so many things. Which is interesting, because you would think that during the quarantine you would start doing less. But no. I mean, clearly it paid off, don't get me wrong, because around the time I started doing voice acting auditions, and then, I know, at the same time Pixel Month was going on, was when the big sub boost happened. Like from, because I do, again, that's one thing I do need to do, actually, the 500 subscriber special, which was overdue since March the 3rd. So, I've had that in my mind for literally almost 2 months. So yeah, and people have been asking me about that, because of course. But yeah, I feel like that will happen in due time. What was I going to say now? There is open up. Oh yeah, so I'm not going to say what the actual Mimi series is. I'm going to leave that a surprise. But honestly, it's been quite an inspirational thing, because I don't actually tend to write like for Minecraft as much as I do for Gacha. Simply because, you know, Gacha requires writing to begin with, unless you're going to do it unscripted, but even so you still have to write the speech bubbles, so a lot of the time. It's not like you can do a voice actor project and have people just improvise. That would be pandemonium. So yeah, for Minecraft I do tend to do a lot more improvising, and even some of the stuff that I've been working on has been more improvised, except for Stromanov. Stromanov is actually going to be fully scripted. Partly because Aidan, who is directing it, will not let me live it down unless it is. But also because that just makes sense, because, you know, I'm not the main character of the series, so it doesn't make sense to start, you know, filming stuff from my perspective. In any case, now more people are getting Minecraft, I might actually finally be able to either do that scene from Psychonaut that I said was cancelled, or just the actual stuff from Stromanov. I feel like I could probably do both of those things if people actually are able to log in. Because yeah, I'm not the best at manipulating NPCs, so I feel like that's a good idea to not do that, and just have actual people. Maybe I need to actually get the. I'm pretty sure I do have the MoBend mod, but I've never properly used it. Well, the Mimi seems to have taken a shining to it, so expect some more complex movement from Mimi's series rather than my own. So yeah, honestly, I feel like we're on to a good start with that. And in terms of the writing, I actually got quite inspired with you know, actually doing things, because it is a fairly simple but complex premise at the same time. Like, it has a lot of the fantasy tropes you'd expect, but also an important twist that defines the entire series. So that's all I can really say at this point. But yeah, I just ended up even without having everyone else there. I just ended up, you know, going, oh, you know what? This scene would be great. This scene would be great. They just sent it to Mimi. Seems that she loved the scene, so they were fine. So yeah, from starting the point yesterday, we're already on episode 2. So yeah, Mr. Progress, the best, will be pleased, absolutely, with the fruits of our labour. He's part of the writing process as well, so yeah. In fact, you can tell that some scenes are written by him. That's an interesting thing that I think I should actually encourage people to do. It's like, particularly for Tame the Baba Season 2, because we all have a hand in writing certain bits, but I feel like it would be interesting to see which bits people think were written by him, and which ones by Mimi, and which ones by me, or by the mysterious other credited person who was in the description of the last episode for some reason. Yeah, but with that episode, I can't remember, there's someone who had like numbers in their username, was who had a writer's credit on it, who I don't remember, so must be a friend of Mimi's. But yeah, just so you know, I did actually write part of that episode as well. But by the way, you should check it out, because I'm quite proud of the dual performance that I pulled off in that episode. Because, you know, having even though I wrote the scene in question, having Cole and Andrew yelling at each other, and, you know, just moving from one side of the mic to the other one for the different voices, I'm glad with how it turned out. Obviously, Mimi trimmed down the pauses and everything because, you know, director, producer. So, yeah, team effort as per usual. Absolutely. And as for on my end, obviously, another season 2, episode 2 project, but this time of The Mutant Girl. Yes, this one took a bit longer than usual, but again, April's been very draining. I'm not going to do another themed month for a while. And if I do a themed month, I'm making sure to record everything 2 months in advance, just so I have time to actually prepare for it. Because, you know, it's not good when you have to upload a virtually unedited episode because you are too tired to work on the rest of it. Yeah. Sorry about that. But speaking of edited stuff, Mutant Girl came out during that. So there you go, new episode, which seems to have gone down pretty well. Like people are saying that that was a really good one, which is interesting because I would have thought that it might have been maybe a bit dull, that particular episode, because a lot of the stuff that I did was basically in one shot. Like I filmed probably about the first 3 major conversations all at once and just zoomed out and zoomed in for the rest of them. And then I could have done that for virtually the entire episode until the transition for the Danny Gonzalez song. So, well, that could have been a one-shot episode, but honestly, with the tents and stuff, there's not room on the screen, quite frankly. But yeah, that's a thing. So actually, Mutant Girl is something that I'm going to say is done being produced for a while. Like maybe we'll record the next episode in question, because some people like Aiden and Caroline have already done their lines for that episode. But and then other people like myself and Mimi aren't actually in the episode. Because actually that's something I shall say. The next episode might be confusing, but just bear in mind that it's a prequel. So it's all about how Morwenna and Agatha first met and became friends. So yeah, just to bear that in mind. But oh well, as for this episode, DJ Savix, or as he's now called, EMC Mason, has that, oh sorry, not EMC, MC. I keep forgetting it's not E''MC, it's EM''C. Right, yeah, so MC Mason is back for the audio mastering, because given that he has a new channel, he showed new signs of activity. So yes, absolutely. He also asked me to advertise it. I'm going to do like a quick plug here, but I'm going to do something more special, because, you know, since he's put in a lot of effort in the past to help me with my stuff, I should probably do the same. But as for right now, just in case it doesn't come out for a while, please do go subscribe to MC Mason. He has one song on his channel, I think, so far. Can't remember what it's called. But yeah, he's getting started. So just bear in mind that the best of Mason is yet to come. Just an announcement right there. As for anything else that happens, well, obviously Pixel Month is actually still going on, even though I don't think I've actually got to the point in the actual series where we started recording the episodes during Pixel Month. I thought it was gonna be around this time, like episodes 27, 28, but actually that was a thing. But no, as it turns out, we filmed a lot of stuff in March, which I should decide to upload in May, but still, that's fine. So yeah, I guess after tonight, when the last rendition of Pixel Month comes out, it will be time for me to actually go on a bit of a YouTube break. Not entirely, because obviously Walking Wednesday is still going on, and it's been almost a year. In 2 weeks' time will be a year, I believe. So it's important to, keep that going. I mean, especially during, these difficult times, and the fact that a lot of people can't get out in the first place. I feel like it's still important to show that that something is carrying on as normal, and that's something being Walking Wednesday. So yes, I feel like that's an important thing. So these are still going to carry on. But then also, I hate the fact that there was like a month of time which 4 Walking Wednesdays came out in quick succession and nothing else was there. So there's something as well for me to think about, like what quick content can I do? Perhaps one of Mimi's series that I collabed with, and I can actually get that footage out, because I do have that on unlisted on my computer. So just in time for me to actually, no, I'm halfway through editing it. Maybe I'll get back to the gacha reviews finally, because that's something as well. Like because obviously, especially the Taming the Bad Boy stuff, which already now it's during season 2. Season 1 really should have its review series finished. Again, it's all recorded, but it's not published, of course, because those things take a long time to actually edit, even without the sprites, or the OCs as they're called, even without them on the screen. It takes a while, especially considering that most of those videos ended up being exceedingly long. So yeah, potentially I'll go back to those ones. And I know, because I know that I promised Stromanoff a long time ago, and people have been waiting for that, especially ones on Buttercore itself. So I will at least get the skins ready, and at least maybe give Aiden the go sign to actually commence direction. And obviously I'll be there to body act at certain points, but who knows, maybe I'll have to take more of a backseat than I thought for this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still probably gonna end up editing it, unless Aiden offers the opposite Mimi series, but I don't know. But yeah, I'll definitely give it the final polish, and also because I'm responsible for most of the script, because Jaden didn't really help that much. So I think that's probably what's going to happen, if anything. I know I keep promising Stromanoff, and I know I mentioned Enceladus actually last week, so I should clarify that. Sorry, there's people here. I'm gonna probably should go around the other way. Yeah, I'll go around the other way. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, Enceladus, that series ended up having only everyone having episode 1 of their lines complete. So sorry, that's another person there on the phone. Anyway, distraction for a moment. Anyway, so Enceladus has everyone sent their lines for episodes did lines for episode 1. There were some other people who did ones for 2 and 3, but the problem with that is that that there was one person who we ran out of time to do the actual recording, and that happens to be the main character. So it's kind of essential that her lines are actually recorded for the rest of the episodes to actually take place. And yeah, honestly, even though audio does take a while to actually do, every time I think about Enceladus, I think, you know what, I need to get this done. Like, that's one of the things that I absolutely have to finish, because I promised it last year. Yeah, almost around a year ago. I thought of the idea on July 26th, actually, on my anniversary. So definitely before July is when Zelda should be a thing. But yeah, I could get episode 1 out. But the thing is that obviously, because of the way that that it's done, it was in response partly to particularly people responding to the voice acting in The Mutant Girl, which back at that point was less polished, let's say. Like, DJ Savix had just started like mastering the audio, but still, as he so correctly points out, there is only so much you can salvage from people's poor mic quality. So yeah, as much as I can direct people's voices and everything, if it doesn't come out in the final product, then it's not going to be audible. And actually, that's something that I can specifically say is still the case, because in the first anniversary edition, you have Christopher's nephew actually watched that recently, and Christopher himself had to, convey some of the dialogue and what was going on. So in response to that, given that I am in a drama course at university, and I'm in a course with other people, other fellow actors at said university, I thought, you know what, I'm going to cast them. So I did, and yeah, that had mixed results, actually, because there were some people who didn't show up, some people who couldn't show up, and others who did. And a lot of the time I didn't actually. I tried casting some dual performers. There wasn't actually as much uptake as there is on Discord nowadays. Like, on Discord, you can find voice actors anywhere. Like, it is quite crazy. Like I said before, the way that gacha voice acting has come along. And yes, this isn't a gacha project, but it's something nonetheless that you have that requires, and that is animated and actually requires people's voices to bring to life. And so I thought, you know what, because there's an actual studio there, I can actually do this properly. And of course the pandemic happened, and we all got sent home. So even if I did carry on the series, it's already too late. So potentially I might have to reach out to the other voice actors and request that they send stuff remotely, which will decrease the mic quality. But bear in mind that these are trained actors. Like, that's what they're there for. So hopefully that will still come through. Although acting and voice acting, of course, are different disciplines, but voice does come into stage performance, and our course is mainly about stage performance and has been exclusively about stage performance for the past year. But still, on the stage you do need to be able to do different voices. And actually, fun fact, the voice of Mr. Grayson in the first episode of Mutant Girl actually came from Andrew Frampton, a character that I did during an examined piece at LIPA. So honestly, yeah, having distinct voices is a useful skill in theatre. So, you know what, I am absolutely mostly all for people using their voices for that purpose. So yeah, and actually they said before that they hadn't considered voice acting before, but suddenly they did. It's a bit like me with the whole Peter Pan thing. Like, as a child, I was, doing really bad impressions of characters I saw, and you know how obviously when you're a child you play with a lot of toys, and I would do the voices of the characters in the way that I thought best suited them. So either that, or I would actually do impressions of some of the other people who did voices with me, like just my parents, and what kind of voices they give the characters. just without the incredibly slow pauses they would give sometimes in Spanish. But all of that aside, and also the voice that my brother gave his then favourite toy, which is still engraved in both of our minds to this very day. I'm not going to do it now because my throat is actually, really sore. So I need to hydrate myself. Maybe I'll premiere that voice at some point. Well, bear in mind that it was originally invented by a 5-year-old, so it might not sound exactly as it's supposed to. But who knows? Someday. Oh well. There's actually a character in one of my books that was also supposed to come out. I need to talk to the people at Author House today. Guys haven't called me yet, actually. I tend to these days. And yeah, so they keep on talking, of course. They talk big game about film adaptations and stuff. Which, to be honest, I was planning to do anyway. Like, at some point in a future career, I do want to actually make movies. And this particular project, it has to be a CGI animation project. Like, there is no other way of conveying this story in my mind. Unless you have a huge budget, maybe you can do live action with animatronics and practical effects. Maybe. But that's very unlikely, honestly. So, if that ever happens, perhaps I shall provide the voice of this character that I mentioned. Because I know that my brother's going to refuse to do it. Like, he won't want his credit on that film, no matter what. Which is a shame. But oh well. That's life for you. And yeah, I think that's it for the big 5-0, the 50th Walking Wednesday. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but then every time I turn this camera off, there is something that I think to say, and like, oh yeah, I forgot this. But nah, for this week I've been going on for much longer than usual. So you know what, I'm gonna close now, and hopefully the pandemic will not actually increase its lockdown in the next 2 weeks, and I'll be able to say that I did this for a full year. So until that happens, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. And on that note, until next time, farewell.